Hey everybody, ahead of the free agency period coming up in the NFL and with all the buzz around A.J. Brown, my franchise's wide receiver one, I figured I'd just give a quick take on what I think is going to happen with that scenario before all hell breaks loose next week. Enjoy. Alright, I just wanted to kind of hop on here real quick because free agency is going to kick off really into full gear next week. Trades are kind of already happening now, obviously McDuffie and DJ Moore. Guys are getting released, teams are clearing out space, and there's these two big dominoes that are going to fall any second now, so I want to get this video out as quick as possible, which is A.J. Brown and Max Crosby. I'm not going to talk about Max Crosby right now. I think I'm going to probably be touching on all this stuff when deals are happening next week, but I want to kind of get out in front of the A.J. Brown thing because it's important to me as a devout Eagles fan and A.J. Brown appreciator. And it's going to have a big effect on the rest of the league, obviously. It feels like the biggest domino to fall. So, let's play the scenario out. If the Eagles trade A.J. Brown, maybe the best receiver in franchise history, A.J. Brown, they're probably going to be getting back, I think, a first plus. There's reports out there already. They rejected the Rams' offer of a first and a third. I think they would accept that from an AFC team. But Howie Roseman, not about to deal him in conference like the Cowboys did with Parsons. That's not how he does business, really, in general. It's not just about the compensation, it's about where he's going. And the Rams are a direct competitor of the Eagles, so I think if it's a team in the AFC, which I think is kind of a guarantee, maybe it is a first and a third that gets A.J. Brown to your team. Honestly, before all this, I thought probably get a second for A.J. Brown because the Eagles traded a first to get him, and it's been 4 years, 4 great years he's given us. Again, one of the best receivers in franchise history. But now, DJ Moore just went for a second-round pick. And call that incompetence from the Bills, if you will. I see what they're doing. A.J. Brown is definitely a full round better than DJ Moore, and I have respect for DJ Moore's game. But A.J. Brown, we're talking about a guy who is a bona fide top 5 guy at least in this league at his position when he's on and getting the ball. So, it's a first plus. I think that's going to be the price now. The Eagles have incentive to hang on and kind of wait as far as like cap casualties go. So, right, there's a chance that this gets pushed till after the draft, kind of like George Pickens did. But the reports are saying that they want to get this done now. If they're going to hold on to A.J. Brown, they want to hold on to him, and they want to know they're going into next season with him. And if not, if they trade him, other teams want it done now so they can go on with their offseason. Again, it's a domino effect. One thing falls and then all the rest. You get it. I will tell you I've gotten such joy out of A.J. Brown, and I hold him in really the highest regard. I thought going into the season, JSN and Puka's real emergence to superstardom has kind of changed things, but going into the season I thought he was pretty clearly the third best receiver in the league to me behind Jefferson and Chase. When he's getting the ball, I feel like there isn't a much more supernatural force in the league, and I understand his frustrations. Honestly, I do. I feel like their relationship's just frayed. Him and Jalen's relationship seems frayed in the organization as a result. It's been awesome. He was the franchise-changing player for the Eagles. That's what people have to understand. In 2021, the Eagles went 9-8, got blown out in the first round. It was Jalen's first year as a starter. It was a good year. Figuring out who your guys are so you can make this run. AJ comes in, they trade their spare first rounder for him, kind of like what the Rams just did for McDuffie. It's good business. And they have a superstar on their hands all of a sudden, and the Eagles go into next year, 2022. AJ has a career year. Jalen has a career year, which he hasn't really been able to replicate despite having us won a Super Bowl. It's been the most successful period in Eagles history, obviously going to 2 Super Bowls and winning one. AJ's caught a touchdown in both of those games. He's had some amazing moments. He set a record, I think, for consecutive 130-plus yard games in 2023 when he seemed like maybe the best receiver in all of football. Before, the Eagles melted down and kind of stopped giving him the ball. 2024, he was excellent again, but missed a handful of games, which is why he was probably only a second-team All-Pro and just was over 1,000 yards. But when he did play, spectacular again. But I think that's where the relationship started to fray because it really kind of became a running the ball Saquon team. And even though Jalen Hurts was the quarterback in 2022 and 2023, it was a team that wanted to air it out for AJ, who was the focal point of the offense. Not the case anymore, right? And the Eagles still have Devontae Smith. They still have a really good receiver on the roster, which is why they're maybe inclined to trade A.J. Brown and kind of get younger and be able to pay more guys on defense because a lot of their contracts are going to be coming due. All of this to say, I'll miss A.J. Brown deeply, and I appreciate everything he's done for the organization if the Eagles trade him. I think there are some good fits out there. I think the Patriots are pretty much ideal. I think he's perfect for Drake May. You know, Vrabel loves him. That connection's been there. They've been wanting to make that trade for over a year, pretty much. And I think that's a good one. I think the Chargers would be great, too. I think the Chargers, Herbert I know is excellent. I think he'd pair really well with McConkey, kind of the way he pairs with Devontae Smith. And Mike McDaniel could do a lot with him, I think. And they've got the assets to give up. They're a good team. They've got a lot of hype going into next year. I think they're actually the odds-on favorites to win their division next year. Despite the Chiefs still lingering and the Broncos coming off a really good year, there's a lot of hype around the Chargers, and I think for good reason. And I think A.J. Brown could really add to that. So I think those are the top two. I also wrote down the Raiders, and I don't think the Raiders are really going to be in the business of giving up high picks, but you kind of never know with that organization. Maybe they'd want to just build around, Mendoza, Brown, Bowers, Genty going forward. And, it sounds really good when I say it out loud. So that could be something. I thought the Broncos were an option because I think the Broncos kind of lacked that X factor on offense, which maybe Sean Payton might be a little too arrogant to even get because he believes in his scheme so fervently that sometimes he avoids getting the big talent guys. But I think the Broncos could be an option too. They've been rumored. The Ravens I have written down because the Ravens are always rumored to be talking to every veteran receiver on the market. Usually they're not guys in their prime. Usually it's, let's go through the list. Dez Bryant, Odell Beckham, DeAndre Hopkins. Like, you can go on and on and on. They're always trying to figure something out for Lamar. I feel like Lamar's offense, the offense that they run, and granted it's probably subject to change with the coaching changes, they're more reliant on speed guys, and AJ is an X. You know what I mean? So, all this said, what I think will actually happen is he'll go to the Chargers. I think he'll be traded within the next few days before free agency is open. I'll be very sad about it. The Chargers have the draft capital to give up. They're not, they're going to go all in. There's a lot of hype around them for next season because they're going to get their tackles back. Their defense is already really good. I think AJ they're going to see as that piece that can put them over the top with Mike McDaniel coming in to coach the offense. I think that's very exciting. I think it'll be probably a first and a third, but because it'll be coming from an AFC team, the Eagles will pull the trigger on it. I like that for the Chargers, and I like it for the Eagles. Like, it's a good package, and if it's going to happen, if the Eagles are being forced to let A.J. Brown go, not forced, but if he's forcing his way out, kind of, then that's a good return for considering that they traded a first-rounder for him back in the day. Got 4 amazing years out of him that we'll never forget. And yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I'm getting out ahead of it now. Hopefully Adam Schefter didn't just drop a bomb while I was recording this and editing it. I'll talk about all this stuff next week when free agency opens for real. All the deals pretty much get done before the window actually opens in the new league year. But we'll have a lot to talk about, I'm sure, and I think whatever this is will probably be the headline of the video. So there it is. I think A.J. Brown will go to the Chargers. If he does, A.J., it was awesome, man, and we appreciate everything you did.